Hello and welcome to the latest NXP Quick Learnings. My name is Chris Boyce and I'm a Power Application Engineer responsible for our MOSFET family. Today I'm going to talk to you about Power over Ethernet technology. Power over Ethernet has been around for a while, and essentially it is the ability to use an Ethernet cable like this, not just to communicate data between two pieces of equipment, but to supply power to the peripheral device from the router or the mid-span equipment. The PoE technology has been around for quite some time now, and over time the amount of power that it has been able to get from the power supply equipment to the peripheral device has increased. So we see that we start in the early days of PoE with the regular PoE standard, which was each port was able to deliver 15 watts. That was then augmented to be the PoE Plus standard that takes us up to 30 watts. But the very latest technologies from the likes of Cisco and Lineartech and Maxim are new technologies that are opening up new applications as we move to 60 watts and even greater than 100 watts to each peripheral device. What this means in terms of applications is that in the early days we were very much concentrating on low power devices like voice over IP phones and primitive CCTV cameras. Now we have some new applications opening up, so we can build motorized pan tilt zoom cameras. We can have LED TVs for use in point of sale displays in retail, for example. And we can supplement our 3G and 4G networks with new picocells based upon PoE technology to allow us to solve dropouts and high traffic areas by adding extra bandwidth into the mobile access network. What I'll talk about now is how what sort of role the MOSFETs have in PoE equipment. So we can see here, we come over this side. We have our PSE or power supply equipment, and we have our power device or PD equipment, and the data is flowing between the two, and a 48 volt power supply comes from the PSE to the PD. The purpose of today's discussion is to talk about the power supply equipment, and we'll talk about PD on another training session. The MOSFET is used in the PSE equipment in conjunction with a PoE controller, and it's there really to handle any faults that occur in the system. So we've got quite a large amount of power coming out of each of these power over Ethernet ports. Should there be a failure on the device here, or perhaps there's a break in the cable or somebody cuts through the cable, there is a fault condition, and the PoE controller will switch off that particular port using this MOSFET, but it can't do this instantaneously. It takes a little while for the PoE controller to be able to react to the fault condition and then to shut the device off. What this means is that in terms of choosing the right type of MOSFET for use with the Power over Ethernet controller, you have to choose something that has a strong safe operating area, because as the device is being shut down, it's handling quite a large amount of current. It's also got quite a high voltage across the device, and so for a relatively short period of time the device is in what's called its linear mode, and it has to be able to dissipate that fault power until it's able to be fully shut down. When we look for this type of characteristic on the datasheet, we go to the section marked Safe Operating Area, and you'll typically see a graph with the drain current on the y-axis and the voltage between drain and source on the x-axis, and we see a range of curves showing how much power the device can dissipate for various periods of time. So for the higher power end of the PoE type application, what we're looking for is something that can survive something like 100 milliseconds at a 50 volt VDS and is able to handle about an amp. If you can handle an amp for about 100 milliseconds with 50 volts across it, then you can be assured when you design your PSE equipment that it will safely be able to handle the fault conditions even in these high power applications. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you next time on the next NXP Quick Learning. If you'd like to find out more about our MOSFETs used in PoE applications, please go to nxp.com/nexpower-PoE. Thank you for your time.